What's happening, people? Your boy, what you need? I'm back. Been out for most of the day, so I was able to just finish doing the Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler round 5, so you guys can check it out. It's a good round, um, and I thought that that round went to Marvin Hagler. You guys can see why when you watch the breakdown, and if you guys agree with that, great. We're going to talk about the top ranked card. Tangible Boxing, what's up, man? Yo, we're going to talk about the top ranked card now. I'm going to start first with Louis Collazo versus Kutratillo Abdulkakhorov. Um, because Louis Collazo is old, I think a lot of people are going to dismiss this fight. And if they haven't watched the fight, they're going to think that Kokorov actually beat Louis Collazo, when in fact the contrary happened. I had this fight pretty close. I had Castillo up 5 rounds to 4 in round 10 when he sustained another headbutt. So he had 2 headbutts in this fight from Kokorov. Kokorov also forearming him and pushing him down to the ground after headbutting him. So I think there was an intentional headbutt. And big gash over his eye. So in the middle of the 10th and final round, this fight was stopped. He went to the scorecards, and this is what the scorecards look like. One judge had it 99 to 90, if I'm not mistaken, 99 to I believe it's 91. 99 to 91. Okay. And another judge had it, which is basically 9 rounds to 1. Another judge had it 97 to 93, 7 rounds to 3. And another judge had it 98 to 92, which is 8 rounds to 2. In no way was this fight wide like that. No way. There was a period in time, I think it was round 5 or round 4, where Louis Collazo was beating this guy from pillar to post. He was beating him around the ring, just beating him around the ring, landing beautiful body shots. Collazo slipping, bobbing, weaving, dipping from punches. Okay. The kid couldn't land on him like he wanted to. The kid usually likes to fight on the front foot. He had to fight on the back foot. Now, to his credit, he did adapt a bit in the fight, but one of the things I think that happened was Louis Collazo hurt his left hand in that fight and had to make an adjustment. So he started using his right hand and hooking and so on. And then he would tap with the left hand. He wasn't really using power punches to put together his combinations to the body. So he really ripped the shots with his right hand to the body. And I think because he hurt his hand sometime in the fight, I think he hurt his other hand too. I think he hurt both hands. Collazo sustained a lot of damage. He got cuts over both eyes, which were already cut before in previous fight with Keith Thurman. He also sustained damage to his hands in that fight. But I do believe that he was ahead on the cards going into the 10th. The kid had tried to even it out. So some rounds, Collazo was not able to do what he wanted to do. The kid was not really landing a lot of clean shots, but he was keeping him at bay, enough. He was throwing a lot of punches to try and keep Collazo at bay. So Collazo had to bob and weave. Collazo throughout the fight had lead foot dominance, kept on getting position on him to land the shots. You could see that he couldn't pull the trigger sometimes. You could see he wanted to throw the left, but he just would hold back on throwing the left. And I think it's because he hurt his hand. But by and large, I thought that Louis Collazo, the best the kid could have done was get a draw. And I really mean it. The only thing he could have gotten was a draw. He was missing like crazy. He started tagging up Collazo, but some of the shots that he tagged Collazo with were partially blocked. And he started doing some dirty rough out start tactics, which is okay. It is a fight. He started to, one of the things he started to do was he would clinch Collazo and then press down on him but deliberate. You can see it's a deliberate thing. He didn't know how to be subtle with it. The referee warned him a couple of times, but never took a point from him for that. And Collazo didn't care. Collazo just kept on coming. Collazo was the physically stronger guy. Like the punches that Collazo would rip to his body, you could see the kid, he felt it. He's a tough kid, but you could see he felt those punches. And also, the other thing with Collazo, obviously the superior fighter, the slicker fighter and everything. The other thing with Collazo that was very impressive to me was the kid was faster than him, much faster than him, with hand speed and foot speed. And his timing's beautiful. And the kid couldn't land on him, for a substantial portion of time. He started to land some shots on him, but Collazo would rip, his shots didn't really have much effect on Collazo, as Collazo shots had effect on him. And the kid was in survival mode sometimes. He was definitely boxing off the back foot. At least he could box off the back foot pretty well. He made some adjustments in terms of pivoting. Tangible Boxing said, I had Collazo up too. Yeah. I think if Collazo didn't hurt his hand, he might have got that kid out of there. He might have knocked him out. He'd have mixed it up from body to head and catch the kid with a headshot and knock him out. But what I wanted to show you guys, because it's not a high-profile fight, top rank, this happens in boxing all the time, just not with high-profile fights as much. But you can see that this was already premeditated. These judges had made up their minds. They had their scorecards. And I think that this actually happens, this corruption in boxing actually happens because of the promoter. It's a top-ranked fighter. Collazo is not a top-ranked fighter. And that top-ranked fighter was supposed to win to move on to become the mandatory for Errol Spence or a possible Terrence Crawford opponent after Terrence Crawford's fight with, what's the kid's name? The other kid. This kid is tougher than Gvorzdyk. I think he's tougher than Gvorzdyk. I think he can box a little bit better. He can box on the back foot and the front foot. So he's got a little bit more skill, but he's still too direct. He doesn't know how to feint. He doesn't know how to do a lot of things. He just throws a lot of punches. Collazo definitely had the upper hand going into the final round. I can't say it's a robbery. Well, I can say it's a robbery because the scorecards were so wide. You could see the fix was in. Collazo understood he was just coming in there to collect a paycheck, but he definitely showed why he is one of those really better boxers in boxing. And there's just levels to it. So they used Collazo as a sort of a journeyman, a sort of gatekeeper for this kid to move to contender status. But it's unfair because he really did actually beat this kid so far. And I don't know how the 10th round would have gone. Collazo was stalking him the entire fight. He was the guy who was the aggressor. Whenever he threw his punches, he generally landed his punches, including the jab. So he was the effective aggressor throughout the fight. He definitely was the guy with landing the more powerful punches. He definitely was the stronger fighter, a much more solid guy. The younger guy, he tried to throw him down. He tried to rough him up. He tried to clinch him up. He did some very illegal things as well. He tried punching low, but Collazo just would roll his body in such a manner that he couldn't really land the shots he wanted to land that were low. Collazo was the guy that was mostly... The kid was the more active fighter. So the rounds that I gave him was because he was more active than Collazo, and Collazo wasn't doing much. The rounds where Collazo won were definitive rounds where Collazo was landing some nasty body shots and breaking down the kid, So Louis Collazo most definitely, I thought, was absolutely in for a raw deal with Bob Arum and Top Rank. They wanted to have him as the name on the kid's resume. That was it. You could see the fix was in. You could see how unfair it was. Collazo had to knock this kid out to actually win that fight. It is what it is. All right. But the kid is not all that. He got some skill. I'm not going to lie. He got some skill. But at the top tier level, the way how Collazo was handling him, Terrence Crawford would destroy him. Errol Spence would destroy him. He would get destroyed. So what really the Collazo fight has shown is they're going to have to work on a lot of stuff to be able to handle an Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, period. They got to work on a lot of stuff. Okay? With the kid's name, the Mean Machine, Gvorzdyk, I listen to Mikey Garcia say Gvorzdyk hits hard, and you have to use that. Listen, Gvorzdyk can't do shit to Terrence Crawford. He can't do shit to Terrence Crawford. The only thing he gonna do is go in there and get knocked the fuck out. That's what he's gonna get. He's gonna get knocked out. Okay. He don't have the skills. He don't have the ability. He don't have the ring savvy. He don't have the experience. He don't have nothing to be able to deal with a Terrence Crawford. He's nothing. And if he would have faced Ocampo, the dude that faced Errol Spence, I don't know. Ocampo might beat his ass, okay? Because he don't move his head. He don't move his damn head, okay? He all about bullying opponents, but I don't know if he can fight off the back foot. When Robinson was actually pursuing him and actually attacking him, he did nothing. He just backed up like Gennady Golovkin and received punches. So I believe that he's just food for Terrence Crawford. He's just another statistic on Terrence Crawford's resume. Okay, he has next to no chance in hell of beating Terrence Crawford. Okay, when hell freezes over, he'll beat Terrence Crawford. When it comes to this other kid, he also has a little bit of a better chance than Kavaliauskas to beat a Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence. Meaning, what I mean by that is he can at least box on the back foot. He's shown he could box on the back foot. He's shown he could give little angles and shit, So the fight might last a little longer with him. Because he's not just a guy that comes in to try and land power punches and stuff. But he's not strong enough to handle those guys. One, they just walk through his punches and walk him down. Collazo was just walking through him. And again, keeping the defense tight and just walking through him and just walking him down. So just imagine what Errol will do to him. And just imagine what Terrence would do to him. I mean, they would kill him, okay? The competition he needs to face right now is not those guys. He needs to get competition like another maybe undisputed prospect. He needs to get a little bit more treadmill, a little bit miles. He needs to learn how to feint. I mean, Ray Robinson would be a good fight for him, probably. That would be a good little fight for him. After Ray Robinson, maybe a little higher step up. Louis Collazo was a big step up for him. And he really couldn't handle Louis Collazo. Louis Collazo, if his hand didn't give him problems, I think Louis Collazo would have stopped him. I think he would have got him out of there. And this is old ass Louis Collazo we're talking about. So, man. But nobody's going to complain about it. You're not going to hear red flags or white flags thrown about this issue because everybody thinks Louis Collazo is done for and it's over and his career is over. So they're gonna say that. But really, Louis Collazo beat this kid. At least up to the time when the fight was stopped. I think I had him ahead 5-4. They may have given the kid round 5. He definitely, I think, did a dirty tactic where he put Louis Collazo, and nasty butt too. He put him real hard to bust his eye. So I think he deliberately did that. Not only did he put him, he tried to take him down, and he also tried to elbow him down. So he did something really dirty. He really tried a dirty tactic to bail out of the fight. And you could see at the end of the fight, how dirty he was. And then he was raising the flag and waving it. So that's the kind of stuff that we had to deal with. Definitely he's going to get his ass whooped if he stepped up to be a contender. He's going to get beat up real bad. And that would be that. We won't hear about him again. All right, so I think that Top Rank is pulling in a lot of Eastern European fighters. They have a stable of other fighters, don't get it wrong, but man, that's what it is with that. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the comment section. You guys said a couple things. Tangible said, dude, I had Collazo up too. Yeah. I mean, Collazo's just a class act. He's good. He's old, but he's good. And he just did his thing in there. But the kid cut him twice. He got cut over his eye twice. Man. Anyway. Kavaliauskas is awkward. That's what he has going for him. Crawford only loses if he tries to get into a war like Bradley, as he did with Ruslan. Man, Crawford could go into a war with this kid. It's angles. Look at Collazo. Collazo walked his man down. He walked his man down. The man couldn't touch him. He can go into a war with the kid. It ain't not a problem. Kavaliauskas can't do shit to Crawford. And he can't do shit to Spence. They walk his ass down and they break him down and they destroy him. I'm telling you, there's levels to this shit. All right? You saw what Collazo did to the other kid. The kid couldn't even touch him. And he walking his ass down. He's walking him down. If he wanted to trade, but he was trading with the kid as well, right? He walked him down. And that's the exact same thing that Terence Crawford will do to Gvorzdyk. We will see if he can box off the back foot, which he can't do. So he gonna get destroyed. Awkward? Nah. If he was awkward, then Ray Robinson would have had a hard time with him. He didn't. And Ray Robinson can't hit for, he's not known as a knockout artist. And he just came off of a knockout loss to Dennis Ugas. So this was the perfect opponent for this kid to put away. He couldn't put away. He ain't shit. He ain't shit. Y'all hyping up a dude that can't fucking do shit. He ain't doing shit to Terence. Not in the southpaw stance. He can't do shit to Terence. All right. So, and he's, they say he hits hard, but he don't, that so-called KO power. Terence probably got more power than him. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that Terence will go in there reckless and swing at him, swing for the fences. What I'm saying is that Terence just got to do Terence, and this guy's out of there. And I said way before 3 rounds, but I'm giving him 3 rounds because y'all equate this Gvorzdyk dude. They say you probably saying he a better boxer than Clarissa Shields. That motherfucker is not a better boxer than Clarissa Shields. All right. So Terence Crawford was supposed to get him out of there before 3 rounds. If that go beyond 3 rounds, he can't get Clarissa Shields out of there within 3 rounds. He just can't. There's no way in hell this kid is going to make it past 3. He shouldn't. Terence shouldn't let him get past 3. He shouldn't. There's levels to this shit. And Terence is supposed to be way ahead of this kid. This kid don't know feint. He don't do shit. All right? This kid don't do shit. And you hear what I'm saying? I'm saying it as plain as can be. Jeff Horn, at least he feint before he go in the inside. This motherfucker don't do shit. So Terence is supposed to be able to read him from round 1. Once he get the jab in, he's supposed to knock him out. Maybe knock him out in the first 30 seconds. He gonna run into something, boom, and that's it. Y'all don't understand. There's levels to this thing. This is boxing. Look at Louis Collazo versus the kid, Abdulkakhorov, right? Look at it. Collazo does so much stuff that the kid don't know nothing about. He don't know nothing about. Right? Collazo's old. He's old ass, so his body break down, but if Collazo if his hand was just good, that's all he needed. It was his left hand to be good. He'd have knocked that kid out, man. And Collazo, y'all know, Terence Crawford's supposed to be younger, fresher, supposed to be a better boxer than Louis Collazo, right? So what do you think Terence Crawford would do to a kid like that? Okay, you put that same Gvorzdyk in the ring with Louis Collazo. What do you think would happen? Yeah, Collazo would stop his ass, for sure. All right? Collazo hit Keith Thurman. That's how everybody know Keith Thurman can't take a punch to the body with a body punch. Collazo. I mean, come on now. So, Louis Collazo, he just got to worry about getting cuts over his eyes. That's another thing he got to worry about now because he got scarring over his eyes. And that stupid-ass kid, he just headbutt him deliberately or forearmed him, something like that, and bust a big cut over his left eye. Right eye. I think it's right eye. I can't remember which one. Let me see. Hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's over his left eye. He got a big old gash. He had a little cut on his right eye here in the corner. It was bleeding into his eye, so he couldn't see properly. But then on his left eye now, he had a big old friggin' gash. It was huge. Just over the eyelid. Motherfucker deliberately cut it. And he had to stay down and shit. It's all good, though. It's boxing. It's fighting. That's part of it. He gonna get enough money to fix his eye, at least. Still shitty, though. Maybe out of boxing again for a little while because of his eye. So that's kind of fucked up. You go in a fight to fight somebody, and that motherfucker decide to be dirty. But the thing with Collazo was he should have, when that motherfucker first put him, he should have put his ass because he got a bald head. He should have put his ass on his chin. Put him back. Let this motherfucker know, hey, you can't do that shit around here. When he started to clinch up Collazo, he should clinch him back. This is the things you got to do in boxing. If you forearm his ass back. Don't play that. That was another thing that Gvorzdyk could have done with Berterbiev, but again, Gvorzdyk is not as strong as Berterbiev. You can see Berterbiev is solid. He's really, really strong. Gvorzdyk is not that strong. But when Berterbiev had him in the clinch, wrestling him like that, taking all his energy out of him, Gvorzdyk needed to elbow his ass. Start using them blunt edges, boy. Blunt him, elbow him on the chin. You do as if you're throwing a punch and hit him with an elbow. You got to do that shit because he was roughing up Gvorzdyk. That's what he did. Gvorzdyk was boxing him, and what Berterbiev was doing to take the strength out of Gvorzdyk. Same thing Mildred Taylor did to Buddy McGirt. Roughed his ass up. Let him feel the physical presence, saying, ninja, I'm strong. You trying to punch out me and stuff? I'm strong. This ain't just boxing. I'm gonna wear you down. I'm gonna maul your ass down. And so that's where Berterbiev started. And let me talk about Berterbiev versus Gvorzdyk. So this was a fight of worlds. Gvorzdyk has speed. He has quickness. He had good foot speed. He had good angles. But he's not physically strong. Like Bivol, he's not physically strong. Right? Berterbiev had timing, patience, and he was physically strong. You saw in the first round, he threw down Gvorzdyk, right? He hit him with a punch too, but he threw him down. They call it a knockdown. But he threw Gvorzdyk down. Teddy Atlas needs to let his fighters know it's a fight. You can't always be clean. And if a motherfucker start to maul you and start to break you down and he's stronger than you, you got to know tactics and strategies to rough him up too. Whether it's jiu-jitsu or some kind of shit to throw him down. He needed to throw Berterbiev down on the ground, let Berterbiev know, you may be stronger than me, motherfucker, but I know a little martial arts. I'm going to take your ass down. If I had to take you down, I'm going to take you down. You got to send back a message because it's intimidation. And the first thing Berterbiev did was throw Gvorzdyk down, and that changed the complexity of the fight. Berterbiev was saying, I am physically stronger than you. You will not win this fight because I am physically stronger than you. So that was the first message he sent to Gvorzdyk. When you're in boxing, it's a fight. And if the referee don't call the shit, then it's free. So Gvorzdyk, if he needed to cut Berterbiev on his eye, he needed to be rough back. He needed to let Berterbiev know, oh no, motherfucker, you are not doing that back to me. That's one thing Andre Ward would never allow anybody to do. If somebody started to roughhouse him, he gonna roughhouse your ass back. Okay? He would roughhouse you back. He's not gonna let you one up on him. If you hit him in the balls, he gonna hit you in the balls. If you butt him, he gonna butt you back. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get you back. Because no way, no how must you have an advantage over him. So in this fight, it came down to Berterbiev's strength, his timing, the fact that Berterbiev went to the body a lot more than Gvorzdyk to break him down. But also, most importantly, when Gvorzdyk went for the clinch, Berterbiev roughed his ass up. He was throwing punches at him. He was forearming him. He was elbowing him. He roughed him up in the clinch. In other words, don't clinch Gvorzdyk. Don't try to do that in here. It's not going to happen. So that was the message he sent Gvorzdyk. So there were two very important things that Berterbiev did in that fight that really changed the whole complexity of the fight. And as the narrator said, big brother, little brother. Big brother said, I'm the big dog here. I'm the big brother here. You trying to prove something, and it ain't going to work. You're not ready. So with Gvorzdyk was boxing brilliantly, but his mind already, in the back of his mind, he felt the physical strength and presence of Berterbiev. And so he was not fighting as an offensive fighter, trying to beat up an opponent, but as a defensive-minded person trying to preserve himself. So he wasn't putting full leverage on his punches. like he did against Adonis Stevenson. Not to say that he had to, he just needed to touch him and keep on going. But the more important thing is he was not the guy who was in control. He was not the guy who was confident about winning. He was not confident about winning that fight, even though he was winning the fight. Berterbiev, bit by bit, took back that fight from Gvorzdyk. And the ultimate result that you saw where he dropped him 3 times and the referee saved him from himself. Because Gvorzdyk was going to get back up and still keep on fighting. Because one thing I noticed about Gvorzdyk is once he had been stunned by Berterbiev, but I could see that it wasn't as bad. Berterbiev knocking him down, it wasn't as bad as he thought it would have been. So you could see him, if he could get through that round, he was thinking to himself, he was thinking, I'm going to be able to handle this dude. So you could see his confidence was starting to build, but then the fight was ended, right? And I think that Gvorzdyk didn't have the confidence after he got thrown down. He was boxing pretty good, and then after he got thrown down by Berterbiev, I think he didn't have the confidence. And Teddy Atlas was trying to infuse that confidence in him. But I think that Gvorzdyk, I think he didn't, it sent back memories of him losing the amateurs. And I think that he just could not see himself beating Berterbiev at a certain point in time. Well, he was game. He was game. Berterbiev, on the other hand, did a lot of good things in that fight. His trainer told him to prevent him from going to the right. Cut off the right. So he cut him off and made him go left. The other thing Berterbiev did that the trainer told him to do was if he throws a right, counter him with a left hook. Because when he's throwing his right, obviously, his guard is down, right? His chin is exposed. Catch him with a left hook while he's throwing the right hand. He likes to throw the right hand. And Berterbiev would go to the body and then come up with the left hook up top. He had a straight right to the body mostly. He started mixing up with left hooks to the body, digging. I mean, he dug some nasty left hooks to the body. He wasn't really an inside fighter. He was really mostly fighting from mid-range. But I noticed that when he got on the inside, he would rough him up on the inside, rough him up real bad. That's what the same thing that Marvin Hagler's trainer was saying about Sugar Ray Leonard. Rough him up. Let him know who's the boss. That's what his trainer wanted Marvin Hagler to do to Sugar Ray Leonard. And when Leonard went into the clinch, the same thing Marvin Hagler did. He punched his ass up. He refused to let Leonard clinch. And what a lot of fighters don't realize, Adrian Broner was one of them that didn't realize it. Sometimes trying to clinch could cost you more energy and actually wear you down more than if you tried to just box the dude. Because in the case of Marcus Maidana, Marvin Hagler, Berterbiev, got a bunch of guys that I know, they're not going to let you clinch. They're going to fight through the clinch. They're going to fight you through the clinch. They're going to make you fight. They're going to make you expend a lot of energy in a clinch. Don't make sense to clinch. I think I saw another recent fight. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Yes, it was women's boxing. The Zone with, forgot what her name is. But 2 women fighters. And that woman fight would not allow the other woman to get in to just clinch her. She would keep on throwing hard punches. Arm punches, but they're hard punches to her body, to her head, forearm her. I mean, she would just, rough her up. And the idea is, if you don't like clinching, and you're a boxer in boxing, there are guys who can clinch very well. But if you don't like clinching in boxing, and a guy's clinching you, then you need to fight through the clinch. Make him work for clinching you. And some guys, they know how to clinch up really well. So what you do is, as soon as the clinch is broken, you stop punching. And of course, there are maneuvers you can do to negate a guy clinching, right? When the guy comes in, you just gotta watch. As he slides in for the clinch, you can sidestep him and really let him have it, right? Or, if you want to, you can sidestep him and let him have it illegally with a forearm or elbow. There's all of that too. So, I mean, I think a lot of people think that You know, they say this fighter's fighting dirty. He's fighting so dirty. He's fighting with his head. Then, motherfucker, if he's fighting dirty, that means that's the kind of fight you're in. You're in for a dirty fight. So it's all good. If he can get away with it, then you can get away with it. So, you know, and unless the referee says, okay, guys, calm down, and the referee might pick on you, and you ain't got to say nothing. You be like, hey, look, he just low blowed me, or he just did me. I just did him back. You know, you let the ref know what's happening if the ref is not aware, and then you just go back into the trenches, man. Yeah, it's fair game. If a dude be dirty, then it means that's the kind of fight we're going to have, right? And then, shit, I'm going to be dirty too, right? It's all fair. You know, it's got to be an even playing field, and I'm going to make it even, right? It's a fight. So that's one of the things I think that Gvorzdyk should learn from that experience. He must be able to fight the opponent according to what rules of engagement the opponent is doing and what the referees are letting that opponent get away with. You must be able, under all situations, to protect yourself at all times, but under all situations also, you must engage your opponent and get a leverage and advantage. If he's throwing you down on the ground because he's physically strong and he's able to throw you down, you got to throw his ass down on the ground. You're going to have to find a way. It might look obvious where you actually do a martial arts maneuver to make sure his ass hits the ground. But you're going to have to do something. Make sure. And if referee could penalize your point, it's all good. I don't care. I want him to know I'm in this thing to win. And that's the difference. So there are messages that must be sent in a boxing match. So that's one of the things that Gvorzdyk didn't do. And I think it cost him the fight. In addition to, he boxed pretty well. He was pretty fast and stuff. But again, Berterbiev was the stronger of the two. Not just the more powerful puncher, but he was the stronger of the two. In fact, I don't think Berterbiev was actually trying to tee off on him, to be honest with you. He was boxing him. You know, he got heavy hands and solid hands, but he's boxing him more or less. So his punches had a bigger thudding effect, even though, if I'm not mistaken, Gvorzdyk hurt him in the 8th round. Isn't that right? Gvorzdyk, I think, hurt him in the 8th round. Gvorzdyk took that round. And if Gvorzdyk had only the confidence to believe he could beat this guy a little bit more in his head, he would have beaten him. You'd have beaten Berterbiev. But it all starts in your mind. I've seen Sugar Ray Leonard beat Marvin Hagler, right? We've seen it. Maybe some of you don't agree he beat Marvin Hagler. I could see why. But at the end of the day, he didn't get knocked out by Marvin Hagler, and he boxed a good fight, right? So if Ray could beat Hagler, then Berterbiev can be beaten, all right? And Gvorzdyk had everything, all the tools to outpoint Berterbiev. He had all the tools. The only thing was Berterbiev was going to his body, wearing him down, roughing him up. And Gvorzdyk needed to also rough up Berterbiev. He needed to let him know, even if he wasn't a stronger dude, that, you know, no, I'm not going to let you get away with this. So those were some of the things that I noticed in that fight that I just thought I'd present, because a lot of people probably would have overlooked those things. The other thing that I thought was interesting, I was listening to the ESPN crew talk about how, you know, these fights don't always happen because guys want to duck each other. And I was listening to my boy Intangible Boxing talk about rationale why fighters may duck one another. Let me make it abundantly clear. I don't think no fighter, especially at welterweight, is ducking anybody. We're seeing young, undefeated fighters facing each other more today than in yesteryear. A lot more. Okay? Earlier, too. So I don't think no fighter is ducking any other fighter these days. And I think also that, sometimes, I think sometimes people talk about risk versus reward. Yeah, that's a factor. But let me put it to you guys this way. Dude comes out of the amateurs. He has 2 fights. He had about 80 amateur fights. Right? He came out of the Olympics. Dude saying he's ready to face everybody, all the pros. So you let this little dude who's a debutant, just maybe an early prospect, face me. I'm a 3-time, 3-divisional world champion, right? Got lots of experience behind me. I'm going to just let this debutant face me. What would you guys say about that resume? You say that's a shit resume, right? I'm preying on inexperienced fighters. But he wanted to face me. He said he ready, right? So my point being that sometimes guys like Canelo who say, listen, man, who did this kid fight? Who did he beat? He's looking at the resume of the guy. And he's saying, look at me. Look at my resume. Look what level I'm at. I need to fight people at my level. I need to fight people. You know, you're Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andre was saying that back and forth at 154. He ain't on my level. Look, I'm a world champion. He ain't not a world champion. I need to face other world champions. All kinds of shit like that, right? And the point being, there are levels to boxing. So you will not, as a world champion, face a debutant. You will not, as a world champion. I don't care who the debutant is. The debutant could be a great debutant. He could be a 2-time, 3-time gold medalist debutant. You're not going to face him because you're not going to get credit for it until he does something in the pros. And so sometimes when you hear guys like Canelo or like Floyd or like Cotto or like Pacquiao, you know, these are all veterans of the sport. And they say, you know, what do I get out of this? Right? It's not risk versus reward necessarily, but it's just that at the end of your career, you want legacy fights. You want big fights, right? You want big fights, you want legacy fights, right? Yes, to some degree, Roy Jones Jr. used to call out almost anybody. He would say, oh, you call me out, I'm going to answer you. But it's not absolutely true because he did not face Darius Michael Chesky, I think is his name. He never faced that dude. That dude called him out. He never faced him. Okay, he didn't want to do anything in Germany. He was like, come across the United States. Okay, but that's just one guy, okay? He faced almost everybody. But the point is, Roy Jones Jr. was the same thing. He said, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, right? He said it too. In other words, risk versus reward has actually a reasoning behind it. When you reach a certain level in boxing, where you get to call the shots, you want fights that are big because you're reaching the end of your career, right? You're reaching the end of your career. After this, you're not going to be doing no more boxing. You got to do other things, right? So you're trying to make as much money as you can, all of them. Don't worry, all boxers and all. Don't let them fool you. They talk about all the great men. Listen, man. They're doing it because, yes, some of them like doing it, but most of them it's because of the paycheck. Some of them go over, they go over their time because of the paycheck. It's the paycheck. It's called prize fighting, okay? So, if you are in a position where you are seen as one of the top boxers in the world, you're going to face the best that you can face with some legacy behind them. Bernard Hopkins, he still tried to face a young, strong, undefeated fighter. He was trying to prove a point. And they thought Joe Smith Jr. was the perfect dude to do it. He got his ass whooped. But the point is, at the end of the day, you know, it was supposed to be a comeback fight after he had lost to Sergey Kovalev, right? So, at the end of the day, anyway, my point is this. That when a fighter's in a certain position, whether they're young or old, they're going to look for people on the same sort of level as they are, or approximately similar. So Floyd wasn't going to fight none of these young, up-and-coming fighters because why? Because they're still building their legacy. He wanted legacy fights. He wanted big guys with big resumes, you know, guys who did stuff already in the sport of boxing. That's what you want to do. When you reach a certain level where you've done stuff, you want to face people who've done stuff. You don't want to face people who ain't done shit yet. You understand? So with Canelo, what he's trying to do, as you realize, is he's looking for guys who have had some kind of resume. He's trying to face them. And that's why he said Demetrius Andre need to get his resume up. Get your resume up, ninja. Face somebody. Face a name. Like Jamal Charlo. Like, what's the kid's name? Billy Joe Saunders. You know, like Danny Jacobs. Like Triple G. Like Derevyanchenko. Face a name. Face somebody we know. Not these obscure motherfucking names of obscure people. The only one that he had that was an obscure was the kid named Solanke. Okay, Solanke had faced Jacobs. That's it. Everybody else is obscure. And what does Canelo say? Look, man, my legacy for me to be put in with you. Look what I've done. Look at the shit I've done. Why should I face you? Why should I face you? I already proved my point with Danny Jacobs. I beat him. So that means I can beat you. But what have you done lately? This is what Canelo was saying to Demetrius Andrews. He said, make it worth my while. Make it worth my while to face you. Because I'm going after legacy. I want people with resumes. Right? So that's basically where Canelo's coming from. And if you notice, Floyd did the same thing. He fought guys with resumes. Berto was a 2-time welterweight world champion. Say what you want about the cherry picker Berto. Keith Thurman wasn't that. Right? Keith Thurman wasn't that. Sean Porter wasn't that. Errol Spence wasn't even a champion at the time. Right? Who else we had? Danny Garcia was still at super lightweight, I think. I don't think he went up to welterweight yet. So, but that was talk about Danny Garcia. He had also a nice, beautiful resume. He had done things. So it would have been a good. We're talking about Danny Garcia as an ideal opponent for Floyd's last fight, right? But people were trashing that. They were like, Danny Garcia, it's so crazy, right? But that would have been a good fight. But my point anyway is, y'all can't say, oh, Floyd could pick whoever he wants. You know, he dominates. You can't say that. And then you look at Canelo and you be like, you know, so that's why I said I can't say he's ducking these guys. I can't say he's ducking because he's not going to duck them. He's going to face them. He's going to face Jamal Charlo for sure. He's going to face, what's the kid's name? He's going to face Demetrius Andrews for sure. He's going to face them because they're young. All of them are young. He got to face them, whether it's at super middle or at middle or at light heavy. He's going to face those guys. I guarantee you it. Okay? And Jamal Charlo, what I like about Jamal Charlo, he's saying, I'm willing to go across to the zone, sign a limited contracted deal with them so I can face Canelo. When I hear that kind of talk, and you know, Jamal Charlo has his own production company, right? A promotional company. He's Lions Only. So I'm saying, when I hear that stuff, it makes me feel very, very good. It makes me feel very, very good because Jamal Charlo was saying, there ain't nothing stopping me from going across there and doing my thing. Which reminds me, Louis Collazo is a PBC fighter. You guys know that, right? Berterbiev is a PBC fighter. And who else did I see that was a PBC fighter? So Louis Collazo, just again, a PBC fighter, came across and fought a top-ranked fight. I don't know if he signed some kind of contract with Bahrain. I don't know what was the deal. But you got these Al Heyman fighters all over the place facing opponents. And I'm just saying. All right? So, again, 43 minutes in. Cool. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Ooh, you guys are talking a lot of stuff here. Intangible Boxing says Collazo is the king of exposing hype jobs, for sure. He's always been a tough fight. He gave Mosley, Berto, everybody. He gave everybody a tough fight, including Ricky Hatton. Almost knocked out Ricky Hatton in the 12th. Intangible Boxing says Bradley, though, was next level with Provodnikov. He had his chin. Now, Provodnikov was the real deal. That motherfucker was trouble. I gotta read this. This is so funny. Hold on a second. He had his chin in the air with no head movement, just willingly went blow. I know. He was getting punched like a rag doll. Provodnikov actually should have won that fight. But people were impressed with Bradley's heart. This should have been a number 10-8 rounds in that fight. Gavalias is what Maidana was at 140. No, hell no. Fuck no. 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 Maidana had a great jab. Robert Garcia made him use the jab more, but he had a great jab. Hold on a second, folks. Why I can say no is because I recently watched that Marcos Maidana's fights. I watched that Josecito Lopez versus Marcos Maidana was a hell of a fight. It was a great fight, actually. And I watched it Maidana versus Peter Petrov. Marcos Maidana, man, he sizes you up, then he goes in for the kill. He bad. He's a bad boy. Even against Devin Alexander. You know, he beat the shit out of Devin Alexander. Y'all forgot about that fight. Busted up his eye, all kinds of shit. Marcus, man, he said he had a cool. I don't even care. He beat the shit out of Devin Alexander. He was a bad boy. He and Lucas Matisse, they were two bad boys, man. Matisse had heavy hands. Remember when Matisse went against Provodnikov? I think that took all the life out of Matisse. He boxed him, though. Provodnikov was a bad boy. He never used to stop people all the time. But shit, that brother could punch hard. And boy, he could rumble. He was rough. He was rough and rugged. Now that was a bad motherfucker. Ooh, did you see what he did to Chris Algieri? Provodnikov, man. That dude was a bad boy. Provodnikov is a bad boy. He a bad boy. Oh my God. Provodnikov. Woo. Oh, man. Mike Alvarado TB. The reason Gvorzdyk got stopped was because his last name didn't end in Enko. Berterbiev has underrated boxing skills. Oh yeah, no, most def. No, he's no. I'm not saying no. Tactically, this brother was on point, fainting and all kinds of shit. I'm not saying no. In fact, the instructions that his trainer gave him, he tried to execute early on, but he couldn't because Gvorzdyk was so quick and moving around the ring a little bit too much from the set. But after he warmed down a bit, he was able to execute the game plan. You know, feint to the body, go straight rights to the body, in and out. You know, good defense. He had very good defense, actually. Gvorzdyk wasn't landing as much as people thought. And very accurate. Berterbiev, he's like sniping you. And he'll crash your ass. So he's very good. Like I said, the trainer was giving him very good advice on what to do. Intangible Boxing says Gvorzdyk should have gotten a sex change so that when he gets married, he can change his last name to that of his male counterpart, whose last name in this hypothetical would end with Enchenko. Mike Alvarado says agreed. Intangible Boxing says it isn't pronounced Gvorzdyk. It's not Gvorzdyk or some shit like that. It's Gvorzdyk. Or Gvorzdyk, whatever. I don't care. The G silent, okay. Jamal Charlo shouldn't sign with DAZN. He needs to sign with Bob Arum's Top Rank. Intangible Boxing said Berterbiev left Al the Devil Heyman to join Bob the Messiah Arum. No, actually he's not. He's still managed by Bob Arum, by Al Heyman. Intangible Boxing. If Floyd Mayweather stayed with Bob Arum, Mayweather Pacquiao would have done 46 million pay-per-views at best. Intangible Boxing said, had Berterbiev used his jab and cut off the ring a little bit more like he did in the middle rounds, he could have stopped him earlier. Nah. He had to slow him down first. Staying with Aram is a smart decision. There's bigger, more dangerous names in top rank. It's pronounced Gvorzdyk. Okay, the G silent. Cool. Yeah, but anyway, at the end of the day, he's a good fighter, man. Gvorzdyk. It's just that, like I said before, he needs to build a little more strength. He has to get a little stronger. He doesn't seem to be a light heavyweight, just like Bivol. Bivol's not a light heavyweight, but these guys, they can box quite well, so they able to hang with light heavyweights. But I don't think Gvorzdyk is a light heavyweight. He could easily be a middleweight, like Canelo. I get that feeling. He probably can't make middleweight, but it is what it is. Ford is hard out though. But he got a ways to go. Teddy Atlas has to work with him on certain things. You see, having defense like Canelo has defense, you make a big difference in a fight like that. It's not just footwork, it's upper body movement as well. And those guys, they have limited they snap back from punches and shit, but all around game, you gotta have that. But BDBF is good. He's good. And he's strong. Got the basics and the fundamentals down pat. But he can be beaten. And that's what Gvorzdyk showed us. He can be beaten. Yeah, excuse me. As I eat a little bit. Kavaliauskas is underrated. I think he beats Spence and Porter. Huge props for Crawford for taking this fight. Mike Alfred of TV, you're so funny. Berterbiev could have closed the distance early, warmed down earlier, which is what I mean. He thought the same thing. His trainer was asking him to do that. But I think Gvozdyk's movement did not allow that. Gvorzdyk kept on stepping around him. Kept on stepping around him, turning him. It wasn't easy to throw the jab at him and come in. Kept on turning him. I'm telling you, Gvorzdyk had it, but it's just that he got worn down physically. Berterbiev was the bigger, stronger guy. Gvorzdyk was taller than him, but not bigger than him, and not stronger than him. That made a difference. When Berterbiev landed a punch, Gvorzdyk was physically damaged by it. Now, Gvorzdyk was able to trouble Berterbiev and hurt him in the late round, 7 or 8 or something like that. But for the most part, Berterbiev was just walking him down. And Berterbiev can fight off the back foot, obviously. You saw that. He's a good all-around boxer. Period. Solid. Smart, too. He thinks. But the thing about it is, he has to get your timing. That's another thing about Gvorzdyk that I thought he was too repetitive, doing the same thing over and over again. Wasn't throwing off his time. It wasn't changing his rhythm. It was giving us more of an amateur style. High pace, high energy, high throughput, kind of like Kazaki. I thought that he needed to pace himself. Teddy Atlas was telling him he's too nervous. You need to calm down. I thought so too. I thought his nervousness also caused him to burn up more energy as well. You gotta keep your composure in there. He had what it took to beat Berterbiev. He really did. He just mentally, I don't think he was all together there. I don't know if he believed in his heart he could beat him. But he had what it took to beat him. Intangible boxing. Kovalevskis knocks the Hennessy out of Errol Spence's system. That's funny. Mike Alvarado TV, he says, Kovalevskis had a draw with the Hall of Fame legend Ray Robinson. That's funny. Intangible Boxing says you're underrating. You're underrating Kovalevskis, who beat Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest welterweight ever. Oh my God. If he's from Philadelphia, I guess so. I thought it was a draw though. Officially. It's still a huge accomplishment. It's funny. You guys got jokes. They're calling him the Green Machine. Do you think Sugar Ray Robinson was the best welterweight ever? No. Nope. You got Jose Napoles, Carmen Basilio. You got tons of them, man. You got Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong had 22 welterweight fights, I think. 26. Can't remember. Championship fights. That motherfucker had a hell of a lot of championship fights. Smash the like button, people, if you're listening. Robinson had, what, 5? I think 4 or 5 welterweight fights. I guess one of his championship defenses was, he was like, who? What? What's he doing facing this dude? Yeah. I mean, he did, forget the welterweight championship fights. He did face some legendary welterweights as well. So you have to keep that in mind as well. He wasn't world champion at that time. But when you're talking championship level, shit, we got a lot of guys, man. A lot of guys. They had losses too, but the kind of names that they faced at welterweight is just remarkable. And then the amount of wins they had, you got a lot of great welterweights out there. A lot of great ones. Floyd's not backward either. I mean, Floyd fought some really good and back to back. He's not bad either. So I don't think I could call Sugar Ray Robinson the greatest welterweight. He was undefeated at welterweight, but I don't think I'd call him the greatest welterweight ever. Nah, no. But he did fight some good names. He fought Sammy Angut. He fought the guy that beat Henry Armstrong. He fought Henry Armstrong. He fought the guy who became world champion and then vacated his title because he said he broke his nose, but really and truly he was ducking Sugar Ray Robinson. He didn't want to face him again. He beat that dude. Fritzy Zivik. A lot of people beat Fritzy Zivik, but Fritzy Zivik was the guy that beat Henry Armstrong. Yeah, so no, Sugar Ray Robinson definitely not the best welterweight of all time. No. But he did fight some really good names. And when he wasn't world champion. But they were not world champions. They had kind of, some of them had lost. Some of them a little bit over the hill and that kind of stuff. It's all good though. He beat them. He has names there at welterweight. One of the things people forget though is very early in his career, because he started off at lightweight. He was a lightweight. Very early in his career, he started fighting at middleweight. You know. But some of the guys he fought at welterweight, like Jake LaMotta, he moved up and faced at middleweight after. So, I think his very first middleweight championship fight was against Jake LaMotta. Raging Bull, they call him. So, but he had met Jake LaMotta a number of times at welterweight. So he also had a lot of middleweight fights in between his welterweight fights. He was a big dude. He was massive for a welterweight. Very big. Which is why I translated into his power at welterweight, because he wasn't really a welterweight. He was mostly most of his fights were at middleweight. If you check out his whole entire career, the majority of his fights were at middleweight. He was basically a middleweight. So he grew into being a middleweight. So he's big, 5'11", long reach, big, long kind of guy. Liked to fight on the inside, throwing a lot of body shots, a lot of body shots, but they were very repetitious. He'd have to loop the body shots because he had to collapse his arms to hit you on the inside. He kind of remind me, you know what he was? Sugar Ray Robinson was more like Errol Spence. Errol Spence would be like an equivalent of Sugar Ray Robinson in the southpaw stance. That's how we would look at Sugar Ray Robinson. He looped his punches a lot more, but he had quick hands. So Sugar Shane Mosley kind of reminds me a little bit of him. He was a little bit more technically sound than Sugar Shane Mosley. He was pretty fast. But Sugar Shane Mosley, but his approach was to land to the body mostly. He had brutal headshots and stuff, but that was against, what we would call today B-level and C-level fighters. He would get him out of there, so he looked really good. But really, he only had like a 52% knockout ratio his entire career. He did knock out some top-tier guys, but then some other top-tier guys, he just didn't get out of there. He never got Kid Gavilan out of there. He never got Holly Mims out of there. Holly Mims gave him a hell of a fight. Was a hell of a fighter, though. Carmen Basilio, he never got him out of there. I could talk about a lot of fighters he didn't get out of there. And it just showed that, if you had a decent defense or just decent chin, he's not getting you out of there. People talking about, he had this devastating knockout. He never knocked out Kid Gavilan. They said Kid Gavilan was slippery. And I watched the Kid Gavilan. And Kid Gavilan wasn't all that. He wasn't that slick as people make it out to be. And Ray Robinson thought he was slick. He said he couldn't really hit him like he wanted to hit him. So, it is what it is. It's up to you guys. Do your research, do your homework on Sugar Ray Robinson. You decide for yourself. But I didn't really think that he was. Um, well, I would put it this way: he got a title at welterweight, just like how Gervonta Davis got a title at super featherweight. Gervonta Davis ain't no fucking super featherweight, man. He ain't no super featherweight. He's too big for that weight class. He more about, maybe he's a lightweight, super lightweight. That's what he probably is. That motherfucker look like he walk around 160 something. And he look like a water buffalo when he ain't training. He look too big. That motherfucker need to control his weight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So that's the scoop on Sugar Ray Robinson. Hell of a fighter though. Hell of a fighter. I know I'll kind of, people probably think I'm putting down Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm not. But you got to understand, boxing as a sport has evolved. So Sugar Ray Robinson was great. He's still a great teaching tool for different techniques and stuff. But we've come a long way since him. Okay, we've come a long way since Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, and people still putting up their shrines to him. But it is what it is. I mean, different time, different era. Yep. He actually got a win over Gene Fullmer. Caught him with a check hook. It was cool. Knocked out Fullmer. Because Fullmer was in the middle of trying to leap in on him, but he caught him midway as he was running into the punch. He just ran directly into the punch. I laughed so much. I laughed my ass off. It was so funny to me. It stunned Fullmer. Mid-range into the punch. He's like, ugh. It's so funny. Knocked him out, man. So they think that Sugar Ray Robinson had one punch knockout power, but he didn't really have it. Even though I remember he punched what's his name? Jake LaMotta so hard, right? Was it Jake LaMotta or was it Rocky Graciano? I think no, Rocky Graciano went the distance with him. Jake LaMotta. He punched him so hard his mouth guard flew out of his mouth. He slumped over into the ropes. But Jake LaMotta himself was trying to hook. So they both were hooking. And Sugar Ray Robinson hooked him before he hooked Sugar Ray Robinson. Knocked him the fuck out. It was lights out. He slumped down like Mermaids to Vern when Deontay Wilder went for a home run on him. Yeah. Hell of a fight, man. Hell of a fight. But yeah, so Sugar Ray Robinson, there's a lot of things about him I think a lot of people blow out of proportion, but it's all good. Can you consider him pound for pound number one of all time? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because the names he beat, they're names. He got a lot of names. He got a lot of fucking names. I think Roy Jones Jr., Harry Crabb, and Floyd Mayweather have a lot of fucking names on that resume. We're talking about named opponents. Those motherfuckers got names. You know what I'm saying? They really do. Roy Jones Jr., a lot of people say, oh, he dubbed this one. No, fuck no. Roy got names. Legendary fighters on it. Legendary fighters on his resume. It's incredible. Some of them are a little bit old, but he beat some really badass people. So when I say Roy got James Toney, Bernard fucking Hopkins, Antonio fucking Tarver, fucking what's the legendary fighter? I forgot his name. He's a Hall of Famer. Not Mike McCallum. He got Mike McCallum too, but Mike McCallum was old. He was like 40-something years old. Not to say nothing. He was a world champion just to fight 2 fights before, but anyway. He fought shit, I forgot the kids. It's coming to me. Thomas Hearns beat him as well. I forget what his name is. Hit him with a body shot, put him down. I mean, he fought world champions, a lot of world champions. The Mexican lightweight champion, I forgot what his name is. Jose Luis something. Not Segundo. I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, he outclassed the dude too. Made him look stupid. And the guy's fundamentally sound. Oh, yeah, he beat a lot of guys. He beat a lot of guys, and then he went up to heavyweight and beat guys. Remember, he started off at middleweight. He started off super welterweight, and then he went to middleweight, and he was beating ass. And then he went up to super middleweight, and he beat ass again. Then he went up to, that's where I think he faced James Toney, right? Then he went up to light heavyweight, beat ass, and then jumped from light heavyweight to heavyweight, beat ass. So Roy Jones Jr. used to beat ass. You know what I'm saying? He just kind of wrecked his resume a little bit by just keep on fighting, which didn't make no damn sense, but that's what he did, you know. But he fought everybody. He fought Glenn Johnson. I mean, he fought everybody. He's a hell of a fighter. Oscar too. Oscar fought everybody. Vinny Pazienza, yeah, he fought Vinny Pazienza. I mean, he fought everybody. There's a lot of names. He has a lot of names. He has like 26 uh, names and world champions that he fought and beat. And didn't beat, but he fought. He got a lot of fucking names. Roy is not a joke. He fought Danny Green. I mean, he got knocked out by Danny Green, but he fought him too. Those of you who know who Danny Green is. Top Rank made Kavaliauskas versus Ray Robinson to trick casuals into thinking he fought Sugar Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson had 5 title defenses. Outside of that, his competition was the best, I think, ever at welter. No. Like I said before, you had better than him. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. There's fucking Pernell Whitaker. There's shit. Man, when you talk about welterweight, you know, man, god damn it, man. You got so much crazy ass motherfucking welterweights that were just great. Like their resumes are ridiculous. Ridiculous resumes. Tangible. And this is the guy Mean Machine beat. Not really, but he carried the same name, sort of. Even though Sugar Ray Robinson's real name was something Jr. Something Smith Jr. I'm trying to remember what it was. Tangible Boxer says, I'm a casual at Mike Alvarado TV. Eric Messanero says, in the Ultimate Book of Boxing list book, I own Teddy Atlas and Bert Sugar. Both have Sugar Ray Robinson as the best welterweight of all time in their own separate lists. Well, that's them. I mean, it's not that for me. It's not that for me. Guys, you need to look into boxing, all right? Look at a guy named Jose Napoles, Carmen Basilio. Look at guys like, I mean, if you really want to talk about welterweights now, because there's all these great welterweights. Like, we just talked about Barbados Joe Walcott. I mean, fucking, oh my God, so many welterweights. You got, what's this kid's name? You know, you got some incredible welterweights, man, out there. Ray Robinson was the best. You can't even call him the best middleweight of all time. Collectively, he fought really great names. He fought like, I think it was 24, 25 great names. He didn't beat all of them, but he fought some great names. Mike Alvarado is still the best welterweight of all time. Intangible Boxers, I'm into my middleweight rankings. I think tonight, Craig, Monzon, Ray Robinson, and Hopkins are my locks. Torn on Hagler or Mikey Walker. Those are all good names you just mentioned. You know, but you left out a couple others, man. You left out a couple others. There's Dick Tiger. There's it's a fucking name. Its name slipping my mind. I see it on the tip of my finger. I just can't remember it. Oh my bad. It auto-corrected. My locks are Canelo, GGG, Marco Antonio Rubio, Mew, and Keith Holmes. Oh my God, y'all are so stupid. Yeah, Walker Smith Jr. That's right. That's his real name. He's not really. He's not Ray Robinson. That's the name he picked up to be able to box because he did not start boxing at the right age. Right. So, um, yeah. I mean, I think Sugar Ray Leonard was a better boxer than Sugar Ray Robinson. I think so. Sugar Ray Leonard did a little bit more than Sugar Ray Robinson did. And Sugar Ray Leonard had all the fundamentals and all that shit too. And I think he was a better boxer than Sugar Ray Robinson. You know? If Sugar Ray went up against Sugar Ray Robinson, I'd have Sugar Ray Leonard beating Sugar Ray Robinson. Anybody want to disagree with me on that one? At welterweight. At super welterweight. At middleweight. Sugar Ray Leonard beats Sugar Ray Robinson. I think. What do you guys think? Sugar Ray Leonard moved backward and laterally more and better than Errol Spence Jr. I disagree. I disagree. First of all, Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard never faced a Sean Porter. Name me the fighter that Sugar Ray Robinson faced. Well, actually, he did face something like Sean Porter. He faced a gentleman named something Tiger. Fucking hell, I forgot the name. He got beat by the kid. Never faced him again. He's an inside fighter. It'll come to me. This is after his loss at light heavyweight. He retired and came back to boxing. He fought a couple fights and then he faced this kid. Shit, I can't remember his name for nothing right now. Just blank. I'm drawing a blank. Because this fucking Dick Tiger keeps on coming up in my mind. You know when certain names just replace other names and you're like, what the fuck? I'm trying to remember this other name, but this other name keeps on coming up in front of me. It'll come back to me. It's not Tiger Lewis. Shut the fuck up. It'll come to me. But yeah, he fought somebody kind of like Sean Porter. Had a lot more skill. No, not Tiger Flowers. Tiger Flowers is a totally different era. In the 1920s, man. That's somebody Harry Kreb faced. He faced Tiger Flowers. Tiger Flowers was southpaw. No, I'm talking about shit. I can't remember his name. I think he was in the what the fuck is going on? Why am I forgetting every single name? He was in the Jesus Christ. Murderer's Row. I think he was part of Murderer's Row. Yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson faced that dude. He faced him once and he never faced him again. I'm trying to remember his name. All right, I'm finding a name for you. I'm finding a name for you guys. Damn it. Sometimes I just don't understand why I draw a blank. Nah. Henry Armstrong was an old ass Henry Armstrong at that time, man. I'm going to tell you who it is. Because you guys probably don't know about this dude. But he was a hell of a fighter. Bring this shit to me. Bring it to me. Hold on a second. Adamson was old when he faced that Porter-like guy. Not really. There we are. He wasn't really that old. I'll tell you how old he was. Let's see. It's 1921. Like I said, he just came out of retirement. Ralph Tiger Jones. That's the name. He fought him in 1955. He was born 1921, so he was 34 years of age. He just come off of facing Joe Rindon. Yeah, he had a 3-year hiatus from boxing. Ralph Tiger Jones. Check out that dude. Good boxer. Should watch the fight too. The fight's there. He was 34. He wasn't old. He fought until he was 40. What was it? 40, 45, somewhere there. 46, I think it was. Yeah, he fought a long time. 1965, 1921. He was 44 when he stopped boxing. So yeah, he was still in his prime. At the end of his prime, but he was still in his prime. He had a one tune-up fight. Ralph Tiger Jones was supposed to be a tune-up, but that motherfucker, you know, that's not a tune-up. That's like saying Sean Porter's a tune-up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should check out Ralph Tiger Jones. The motherfucker was called Tiger for a reason. You never rematch that motherfucker. You want to see him again. It's like, get that motherfucker out of my face. I don't want to see this dude again. I hope. Yeah. I think Ralph Tiger Jones was old too. He was in his 30s, I think. Henry Armstrong. They reported that Sugar Ray Robinson was trying to give Henry Armstrong a paycheck. That was pretty much it. You know. And he held back. He carried Henry Armstrong to the end, they say. So, make of that as you may. It wasn't the same Henry Armstrong. Let's just put it that way. Plus, Sugar Ray Robinson was of a new era. You know, like I always say, when you have a when you have an old era going into a newer era, the guys are better. You know, it's just what it is. The cream of the crop is going to be better because they've been watching you guys. They've been watching the other guys of the other era. So obviously they're going to be better than them. The best of them, that is. It's to be expected. So, anyway, we were talking about Sugar Ray Robinson. We went off into Sugar Ray Robinson, whether he was the best welterweight. I would say all around, Sugar Ray Robinson had all around game. He was great for his time, fundamentally sound. He was pretty to some degree, and he could bang, he could box, he could fight on the inside, the outside. You know, he could do it all. Back foot, front foot. Spin around, road, but all textbook shit. He didn't do things outside of the textbook. He wasn't like a magician. He wasn't like Floyd. He wasn't like Sugar Ray Leonard. He wasn't like Canelo. He wasn't like Pacquiao. You know, he never faced a Pacquiao opponent. You know, he never faced somebody like Pacquiao. He never faced a Sean Porter. Sean Porter was quick. I mean, Ralph Tiger Jones was, you know, relentless, and he had defense and stuff, but he still moved not super fast. Fucking Sean Porter's fast. Period. He never faced an Aaron Pryor. He never faced a Pacquiao. He never faced them kind of dudes. Very, very athletic, very quick guys. You know, was another guy that gave him problems, but he was a little bit repetitious, and this is when he was at welterweight. Well, he was still fighting at welterweight, that is. I'm gonna tell you, there's a bunch of guys that gave him problems. But I'm gonna talk about this dude. Let's see if I can find him. There was a couple of guys that gave him problems. All sorts of problems. He had to fight this dude on the back foot, and he actually outweighed the dude. I'm trying to find him. Jimmy Doyle. No, it wasn't Jimmy. Was it Jimmy? No, it wasn't Jimmy Doyle. Jimmy Dawes is the one he killed, I think. Hold on. That's the kid he killed, not him. Damn it. But it's interesting watching his career. And he was robbed against Paul Pender, in my opinion. There's a kid's name. He was still fighting at welterweight when he fought this dude. Fasuri, somewhere around here. Fasuri was his last welterweight fight. What the fuck is that dude's name? I'm not seeing him. That's so fucking crazy. What the fuck? Man. Well, it's somewhere around. I can't seem to find it. Fuck is that fight? I just can't find the shit. What the fuck? That's a weird, but anyway, whatever. I can't find it. Anyway, I kick a box. You can always see that. You can always see that fight. He was still at welterweight, but he fought the dude. He wasn't a welterweight. The guy was 148 and a half. The guy was lighter than him. But that motherfucker could box though. Tall, rangy guy. Yeah, he could box. He was a little bit monotonous though, so I think that's why he lost the fight with Robinson. Yeah. So anyway, and you can watch the Freddie Flores fight. Robinson was more like Robinson at the time. Whoop Freddie Flores. Not Freddie Flores. What's the guy's name? Yeah. So anyway, that's what I thought about the Berterbiev versus Gvorzdyk, whatever. Fight. Manny beat Thurman, so this era, in my opinion, is not any better than the Mosley Mayweather Cotto Pack era. Because he beat Thurman? So you think he could beat Errol Spence then? That means he could beat Errol Spence because he could beat Thurman? Because he beat Broner? Because he beat Vargas? That's it? I don't think so. I think he had a lot more experience than those guys. But he just beat Thurman. And I actually had Thurman beating him. He just barely beat Thurman. You do realize that. I think that Pacquiao could beat all the guys, but do I think definitively that he would have the nod over those guys? I don't have him having the nod over those guys. If I had to bet, I have Errol Spence. I definitely have Sean Porter beating him. Errol Spence beating him. Terrence Crawford beating him. And Sean Porter beating him. Even Danny Garcia is a problem because Danny Garcia has a style like Juan Manuel Marquez. So, yeah, I could see Pacquiao beating the guys. But, he's still going to be on the short end of the stick, in my opinion. He's not going to be on the long end of the stick. I think I give all those guys the favor to beat him. And if Keith Thurman was to rematch him, I think Keith Thurman beats him. That's just the way how that goes. Adrian Broner would lose again. But he did pretty well against him, though. I think he beats Mikey Garcia. That's about it. Clearly. Nobody else, I think he's just going to... He's not steamrolling over any of those guys. It'll be close fights. If those guys do what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to beat them. So, I can't really say that Pacquiao, because he's of another era, he going to beat all those other guys. I don't think so. Mayweather annihilated Canelo, who literally watches Mayweather tapes 24/7, 365. Yeah, but experience again. He had more experience than Canelo. Like I said, like they were saying, a younger Floyd against that Canelo. I don't know. I can't say. Well, Manley is older, so he does not have the explosiveness to beat them. No, man, he have explosiveness. What are you talking about? He's always been explosive. But they underestimated his patience. Like Keith Thurman said, he's got a lot more patience. He was expecting him to come in off of ways so he could counter him more. And that was not the case. It's a smarter, wiser, more experienced Pacquiao, which boxes even better than the Pacquiao. So that's what you get. He still has the athleticism, so he's a little bit more experienced, a little bit more savvy, a little bit more tricky than those guys. You could say that about old-time greats too, if you want to, but I think that boxing, the athleticism that would be necessary for those old-time greats to do, they don't have that kind of athleticism. If you bring them up into the present time, you would have to give them all this. They'd have to have all the knowledge on all the things that the sports science has today, which they didn't. So that's why I'm saying, these fighters have all those advantages. Besides that, these fighters today are bigger. Because they don't have same-day weight, so it would be unfair. A fighter can come in. Keith Thurman probably came in 160. Pacquiao came in 150 something. You know what I'm saying? There's big disparities in weight. So anyway, yeah. Pacquiao even has a great welterweight career. He has a fantastic welterweight career. You're talking about Cotto, Margarito. Think about this. This guy, Margarito, much bigger than Pacquiao, right? Shane Mosley. Marquez. Timothy Bradley. Jesse Vargas. Keith Thurman. Algieri. He okay. He was a world champion. Sorry about the yawn. Who else did he have? Joshua Clottey. Listen to the names, man. These are all excellent fighters. Each one of them brings something new to the table. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you're calling Chris Algieri a cherry pick. Chris Algieri is not a cherry pick, of course, but that's the standard we have today. All right, Chris Algieri is a fucking cherry pick. But when Sugar Ray Robinson faced a fucking, let me mention who just Sugar Ray Robinson faced. You wouldn't say that was a cherry pick though. Matter of fact, the fight wasn't even sanctioned. Man, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Wait, what the fuck is this? I gotta show you guys some shit. I'm gonna show you guys some shit. Let me become world champion. I gotta show you guys some shit, dude, because this shit's hilarious. Alright. So, hear me out now. Y'all calling Chris Algieri cherry pick for Baggy Pacquiao. Motherfucking Sugar Ray Robinson beats Tommy Bell. He faces Bernie Miller, right? About a year later, what is that? 3 months later, right? A month later, he faces Freddie fucking Wilson. 15-29-0. This guy's lost more fights than he's won. All right? Stops him in the first and second within 3 rounds, right? How the fuck do you explain that? Then he faces Eddie Finazzo, 39, 31, and fucking 5. A fucking bum or journeyman. Alright, then he faces Georgie Abrams, that was a hell of a good fight. Alright? How the fuck do you make sense of that? This is the guy that you guys call the pound for pound great. You call him the greatest fucking welterweight the world has ever seen. And he's facing this kind of fucking opposition. Yes, it's regular fights. But you're also fighting guys that are just fucking stay busy fights. Alright? But you want to say that motherfucking Pacquiao faces Pisagiri, who's the super lightweight champion who just went through a Provatnikov outboxed his ass. But that's a fucking cherry pick. You know what I'm saying? That's the standards we have today. They're very, very fucking high. Let's not even go with Julio Cesar Chavez, who in the middle of his fucking championship career is facing a fucking debutant. But we want to talk about Floyd face at the end of his career, Conor McGregor, the glorified debutant. I mean, come on. Come on, peoples. I'm just saying. And that's the shit that I'm talking about. And then they say, oh, you hard on the old time greats. I'm saying I'm just keeping them to the same fucking standard y'all kept these guys to. I'm keeping them to the same standard that y'all are coming down on these present people with. That's all I'm doing. Right? That's all I'm doing. Oh, you so hard on the past greats. Well, you so fucking hard on the present greats. You give them a break, I'm going to give the past greats a break. Simple. Capiche? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Everybody talk about Rod Salka. Danny went and faced Rod Salka. Bring him all the way up from wherever God knows, because Rod Salka's good at a lower weight class. American, he faced some super featherweight or some shit like that, right? Now, the thing about it is this. They went to town on Danny. I get it why. He faced Rod Salka instead of rematching Mauricio Herrera, which he should have done. He didn't do it. So I get why people are outraged. But Amir Khan comes. He ducked the whole fucking welterweight division. And then, after he gets his ass starched by Terrence Crawford, he goes and faces a super fucking featherweight. Like, please, people. But by this time, Khan is seen as a joke, so it doesn't really matter. But the point is, you can't have this treatment for this fighter. And then, on the other hand, you're treating this fighter as if he's, great. You can't do that shit. That's wrong. That's all I'm saying. I could go on. Sugar Ray Robinson's career, he fought a lot of guys who were borderline bums and B-level and C-level fighters. He fought a lot of them and knocked their ass out. Okay? He gave them the bum treatment, which they deserved. But I'm just saying, this motherfucker faced Ozzie Harris, 41, 46, and 5. 41, 46, and 5. I can go on if you want me to. All right? My point is, and he gave him the bump treatment, of course. He knocked his ass out, as he deserved to be. My point is, people talk about Sugar Ray Robinson being this devastating knockout artist and all these devastating. Look, motherfucker, he also fought a lot of bums and scrubs, okay? And even Roger Mayweather said, yeah, he fought a lot of bums and scrubs. He said it himself, all right? Pac faced Margarito at super welterweight. I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Algeria was a textbook cherry pick. Okay. Ray Robinson faced those dudes like 15 days apart. And he could have faced them the same day. He would have knocked their ass out the same way. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's glorified sparring. It's where you bring in my guy, you get 4 rounds out of him. You know, you don't starch his ass, but you get 4 rounds out of him. You bring in another guy, get 4 rounds out of him. You bring in another guy, get four. That's the shit that's really going on there. That's my point. So it doesn't matter if it's 15 days apart. He's not breaking a sweat. They're getting knocked out in 2 rounds. He could go 12 rounds with 6 different guys. That's what I'm saying. They fucking bums. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not anywhere on his level. They're not testing him. They're not helping him sharpen up his game. All they doing is glorify catching a paycheck and getting knocked the fuck out. Floyd, Pacquiao could do that. They could fight 10 bums. Okay? 10 bums in one day. Okay? But they're not big fights. Sugar Ray Robinson, on average, just like every fighter in history, has fought 2 big fights a year. 2 big fight opponents, that is, a year. May have rematched them in the same year, may have had 4 fights, but usually it was 2 major opponents per year. Hence, we have 2 big events per year, generally speaking. And you can spar all the other people and pay them for being sparred, you know, with more controlled environments so you don't knock their fucking ass out. I mean, come on, man, peoples. That's what I'm trying to explain. Everybody's like, oh yeah, he fought these guys. He fought one guy one day, and he fought a guy on the Wednesday, and he fought a guy on Friday. Yeah, but he could afford them all on the same fucking day. He didn't break a sweat. It's not like he was going 10, 15 rounds or 8 rounds or some shit like that. He's knocking their ass out in the second round, the first round. He's not breaking a sweat. Just call it a stay busy fight to keep you sharp. Maybe he was using it to make weight. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You know. It's boxing. People get carried away about shit. Man, this dude used to fight very regularly. Yeah, but who is he facing? I mean, Tevin Farmer fought 4 times this year. Who the fuck did he face? Gervonta Davis has fought the most in his whole entire career. But who the fuck is he facing? Quantity over quality. He had 300 and something fights. Okay, who he faced? That's the more important thing. Who you beat. Remember, in boxing, it's about who you faced, who you beat. Of course, the conditions under which you faced them. Meaning, was this person still viable? Was they at the end of their age? Were they old? Were they injured? You know? Everybody says, Miguel Cotto beat Sergio Martinez. I said, was his feet okay? Or did he have bad feet? Okay then. So he didn't face the best Sergio Martinez. He faced Sergio Martinez. He got Sergio Martinez on his regular. He's not really a middleweight. That's a great achievement for him. But Sergio Martinez wasn't 100%. There's an asterisk on that. He beat Daniel Gill. True. But didn't they have to fight at a catch weight though? Did Daniel Gill have difficulty making weight? Okay then. So he stopped him. But there's an asterisk on Daniel Gill. Mayweather beat Canelo like a pro. It's true. But did he fight Canelo at a catch weight of 152? There's an asterisk on that. See, so you have to be honest about things. You know, people want to lose their shit, get an orgasm and all that thing. No. Calm your enthusiasm down. Think about what really happened. Sugar Ray Leonard, he beat Danny Lalonde, the light heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, but was it a catch weight that they made into a weight class known as the 168 division now? Yeah. Okay then. But Sugar Ray Leonard was really small, and Danny Lalonde was compromised. He was weight drained. So I mean, you can look at it and be like all caught up in it. Oh, it was a great thing, which, to be honest with you, that's what they want you to feel. It's not short of being a great achievement, but there's an asterisk on it. Right? That's the point. Daniel Lalonde wasn't at his best. And if we're talking about the best facing the best, then the best should be the best they could be. So there's no excuses at the end of the day. Oh, there's an asterisk on that. You know, you don't want that. You don't want an asterisk on things. And they covered it up with all of the old time greats. Sugar Ray Leonard, he faced Marvin Hagler. But was Marvin Hagler slowing down a little bit? Canelo, he beat Triple G. But Triple G wasn't slowing down a bit. Like Triple G, was he still in his prime? You know, there's always this little asterisk on things people could put. You don't want that. Floyd beat Diego Carras, but wasn't Diego Carras trying to go up to lightweight? What's the weight drain? Gotta ask them questions, right? You gotta ask those questions. There's always that little asterisk on there. But there's certain fights where there was no asterisk, right? So you gotta look at that. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but even Floyd is not obviously immune to asterisks. There's a lot of asterisks on his record and resume. As with any fighter in history, you will find asterisks. And that's just what it is. You could be nitty-picky. Or you could be just a guy that constantly gaga-goo over everybody. You gaga-goo over everyone. Oh, man, Sugar Ray was a great, great champion. Which is true. It's true. Man, all the old-time greats were great champions. Which is true. True. 100%. But it's how you behave towards them. Sugar Ray Robinson would face one Hall of Famer per year. It's a little bit of a stretch. I mean, it's the same guys he keeps on refacing and refacing over and over again if you really pay attention. The same set of guys. And he had rematches with them over and over again. Bobo Olsen, Jake LaMotta, Gene Fulmer, Paul Pender, Carmen Basilio. It's always a lot of rematches. Danny Moyer. I mean, Jose Basora. He didn't rematch Holly Mill. That motherfucker came too close to call. Did he get a draw? Or was it a split decision win? I can't remember. Some guys, man, Sugar Ray Robinson got booed. He got booed. He hit a guy a kidney shot or some shit like that. He got booed out the ring when the guy went down. It's boxing. So let it be known for the record that Sugar Ray Robinson wasn't always universally acclaimed as this great, great boxer. In fact, people booed another fight. I think it was some other fight he got the decision, and they thought the other guy had won. I can't remember which one it was. But see, you have to know the details on these things. I did my homework. I'm just saying. You got to do your homework. So when a lot of people talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, or Mayweather or Pernell Whitaker, I'm only calling the best names. Right? Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, when you're talking about those names, I did my homework on it. Because then I had to do the research on Floyd Mayweather TBE. I had to do homework on everybody. Everybody. There's a lot more I could tell you guys about these guys, but who really cares? Who really cares? Who cares? Not me. It's boxing, man. So that is my long and short about Berterbiev versus Gvorzdyk, and that's my long and short on Collazo versus Abdulkakhorov. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I see you guys have been talking a lot. It's almost 10 o'clock in the night, which is good. I'll catch you guys later. Till then. Have a great. Peace.